Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing my best of 2018 drugstore edition. Please don't mind my voice. I am a little sick right now, but I really wanted to take advantage of my day off and film for you guys, so we're just going to live with it. So like I said, this is going to be my drugstore edition. I will be doing a high-end version coming in a couple of days, but for now, let's just go ahead and dive into my super affordable favorites from this year. So starting with base, literally the only primer that I used this year was the Rose Slash Balm from Pixi Beauty. This is just the best hydrating primer that just makes every foundation look so dewy and glowy and makes my skin look healthy and so moisturizing, and it's fantastic. I don't think I used pretty much any other hydrating primer this year. The only other primers that I used were pore filling. I have like 6 other in my drawer, and this is the only one that I touched this year. I'm about to finish it up. It's such a great primer. It's a little expensive. I think it's like $18 or something, but you can find it at Target, and you know, if you have like a gift card or something, it's so good. So good. So up next, I wanted to talk about this bad boy. Y'all are gonna probably be able to guess like 90% of this stuff because it's the stuff that I've talked about as like being my all-time favorites all year long. But this is the Burt's Bees Concealer. This is not a concealer. I don't know why they call it that. This is 100% an under-eye corrector. It has basically no coverage, but the amount of correcting and brightening that it does to under-eye dark circles is just magical. I literally don't do my makeup without it anymore because it takes away so much darkness and makes every other foundation or concealer sit so beautifully and makes it look so much better. It's fantastic. I love this product. I literally do not do my makeup without it anymore. For foundation, it had to be the Covergirl Matte Made Foundation. This is just one of the best foundations I've ever tried. It is definitely in my top 5 of all-time favorite foundations. Also, yeah, I would say it's number 2, right behind the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is just such a beautiful medium coverage foundation that you can build up. It looks so smooth and healthy, and it's not matte, but it's not dewy either. It's just a really great satin in between that just looks really healthy and great. It's one of my favorite foundations ever, and I'm reaching for it constantly. I'm surprised I haven't run out of this bottle, honestly. I don't know what that's about, but such a good foundation. By the way, my perfect shade is L10. I have another shade, L20, which shade-wise is great, but it's just a little too pink for me. So if you're like around my skin tone and if you need like yellow or pink, I would say L10 and L20 are perfect. So next up, I had to talk about the Joah Beauty concealers. I have their full cover concealer and their dark circle concealer, and I love both of these, but I think I've come to the conclusion that the dark circle concealer is my all-time favorite, mostly because I've come to the conclusion that this one is just a little bit too light for me, which really kind of messes with the coverage that it gives me. It kind of exasperates my dark under eyes just because it's so light and bright and it just looks a little weird. But this is like a perfect skin tone shade for me, so it just looks beautiful. It's got a little bit more coverage. It's so thin. It's very comparable to the Maybelline, what's it called? The Dark Circle Concealer? Angel Wine. Wow. And I do love this one as well, but this one just kind of like came out of nowhere for me this year, and I've been loving it. So next for powder, I had to talk about the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. This is just one of those powders that is going to make you look so smooth and flawless, adds a little bit of brightening if you get a lighter shade than you. Like, I have mine in 05 Fair, and this one is just a little bit lighter than my skin tone, so it really adds a great amount of brightening to my under eye or wherever I put it. I did put it all over my face today, which is probably why I look a little washed out, but this is great. It also has a touch of coverage, not too much, but just enough that you can really kind of amp up the coverage that you might need in certain places. I love this powder so much. It's also really, really thin and finely milled, so it's great for baking or just dusting all over. It's great. And that's coming from someone that rarely uses powder, so if I like a powder, it's gotta be good. For eyeshadow palettes, I had two different eyeshadow palettes that really stood out to me this year, or two lines basically. The first one is the Milani palettes that they came out with in these like gold packaging. I love these palettes, and I have all four of them, and I love all four of them. But this one in particular, Soft and Sultry, really stood out to me this year because it is super cool toned. Sorry if you can hear my dog. It's super cool toned, which I think is really different from the drugstore eyeshadow palettes in general. A lot of people aren't doing cool tones, so I think it's really, really great that they came out with this version for people who do like cool tones. It's actually what I'm wearing right now, and despite the fact that I am a very much warm toned lover, I love this palette. I cannot get enough of it. I'm using it all the time. It's so refreshing and stands out beyond anything in my collection. It's a great palette, and I love this formula. It's so high quality. The mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers are just like pow shimmer. You can build them up, you can use them wet, but you don't need to. I have this one is dry right now, and it looks gorgeous. So love these palettes. They're fantastic. They are a little expensive for the drugstore. They're $20, but I think that they're 100% worth it. And then the other palettes that I want to talk about are actually way cheaper. They're $7 a piece, which is crazy. These are the Rimmel Magnif'eyes eyeshadow palettes. These are so good. This formula is so soft and buttery and blends like a dream. The shimmers are just so beautiful and creamy and just, oh my god, they're delicious. So I have Spice Edition and Crimson Edition, and honestly I need more of them because this was definitely one of those eyeshadow formulas that kind of came out of nowhere for me. I just happened to pick up the Spice Edition because I saw that it was a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Heat, and I fell in love with this formula and I cannot get enough of it. So for brows, I think I basically have one product that stood out for me this year from the drugstore, and that's the Joah Beauty Precision Brow Pencil. Now I know I haven't been using this long, but I love this pencil. It's so different. It's a little waxy but not too waxy. It's a little creamy but not too creamy, and it just makes it so easy to get the perfect brow. I've been using it every single day. I find it so easy to not only fill in my bare areas but also get really precise lines. I just find it so great. I think it's really an A+. I find it hard to talk about brow pencils because a lot of them are very similar, but this one for some reason just has me hooked. I just keep going back to it despite the like millions that I have in my drawer right now. I just keep going back to this one, so it says something to me this year. So moving back to face, I have actually quite a few face products that I wanted to talk about this year. Let's start with the palettes. So Covergirl to me was definitely kind of a hit brand for me this year. I don't know why. They just kind of like came out of nowhere and I just kept buying their stuff. So plus they rebranded this year, and I think that really helped because it kind of put them back on the map. The first thing I want to talk about is their face palette they came out with for their peach line. This is the Peach Punch highlighter palette. So it has a highlighter, a blush, and a bronzer, and I think this is fantastic for pale skin. I love the formula. First of all, it's really like soft and powdery and easy to blend, but these shades are great for pale skin, which is very hard to do at the drugstore. Like bronzers are usually so ridiculously dark or red or patchy or whatever, and this bronzer is not that at all. It is the perfect little warm tone, but not like orange or anything. So there's a swatch of it right there. It just looks so beautiful and natural on the skin. I love it. So I went ahead and swatched the blush and highlighter for you. These are just beautiful. This highlighter is definitely different for the drugstore. It's kind of gold, but also has a really strong pink undertone, which you really just don't see that often. And I cannot get enough of this palette. It's so beautiful. So that was my first like face product that I loved this year, but also their Trueblend Super Stunner palette, which is all highlighters, is beautiful. This is definitely a dupe for the Casey Holmes Smashbox Spotlight palette thing that they came out with a couple of years ago, and that's one of my favorite, like all-time favorite highlighters ever. So when I saw this, I was immediately like, those are the exact same shades. I'm gonna have to give that a shot. This formula is really different. I've never felt anything like it. It's very powdery, but it's like a really thick powder. So it kind of like tends to pick up a lot and be incredibly punchy. I mean, look at that. Really thick powder is the only way I can think to describe this, because it is just thick and luxurious and beautiful. I mean, I cannot get enough of this palette. It is so metallic. Oh my gosh. Another highlighter that I loved this year was from Burt's Bees. They're all Aglow face stick. They have a couple different versions. They have highlighters, blushes, and I think a bronzer. But the highlighter really stood out to me this year. This formula is really cool because it's like the highlighter, but then in the middle it's got a core of coconut oil, which really lends itself to being just insanely moisturizing and dewy and delicious. I cannot get enough of this formula. Oh my gosh, look at that. Your face just looks wet when you use it, and it's insane. I use this all the time. I love it. This is kind of like my go-to when I really just want like a light, fresh, dewy kind of look with no eye makeup or anything like that, just something like really natural. This is like my go-to because it just makes your face look naturally dewy and like glistening, and it's delicious. And then the last cheek product I had to talk about was the Flower Beauty blushes. I love this blush so much. It's definitely a standout for me this year. This is their Flower Pots powder blush in Peach Primrose. I don't have anything in my collection that's like this beautiful peach shade. It is so delicious and warm and just adds such a kick to your cheeks. I'm wearing it right now, and it's just like, oh, it looks delicious and warm and juicy on your lips. I love the formula. It's really soft and powdery and easy to blend, and I mean high pigment, honestly, so you really have to be careful with it. You kind of need like one little swirl and then tap off your brush like a million times and then go in, otherwise you're gonna look kind of crazy. But I love this color so much. It was speaking to me so much this year. Okay, I really have to finish this video because I'm like dying inside my head right now. Real fast, lip products this year was so easy. The Physicians Formula Healthy Lip, this is the best lipstick formula ever. It's a liquid lipstick, which y'all know I usually hate, but this formula is really comfortable. It dries down, but it doesn't get like dry and crackly or anything. It just looks, it feels really healthy on your lips. It's more like a melted lipstick than a liquid lipstick, if that makes any sense at all. It really is just like a regular lipstick. It kind of wears off throughout the day, but looks really great. It's really, really comfortable. I love the colors. It's just, this formula really stood out to me this year, and I bought like 6 of them. It's just, they're fantastic. And then last but certainly not least, mascara. Now this might come as a surprise to you because I literally just reviewed this like last month, but I love this freaking mascara. This is the Maybelline Snapscara mascara, and it is fantastic. I realized after using it and taking it off that it's actually a tubing mascara, so it creates little tubes around your lashes, so it makes it really, really easy to take off. You can basically take it off with warm water and a cotton pad or your hand. So not only is it super easy to take off, but I love the effect it gives my lashes. They look so long and thick, and it doesn't clump up ever. I do have to do 2 coats on my top lashes just to get that like really intense length and volume, but I don't mind it because I think it's beautiful and it lasts all day long. It doesn't give me raccoon eyes, it doesn't transfer to the bottom or anything. It just looks great all day long. Another drugstore mascara that I really wanted to mention, I don't have it with me today, which sucks, is the Flower Beauty Warrior Mascara. That mascara is beautiful. I recently finished mine and I threw it out, so I don't have one to show you guys, but it really does give you some like intense long lashes, and again, lasts all day even in this Florida heat. It is a fantastic mascara. So those are all of the products that I had to mention today from the drugstore that I've been loving this year. I hope you guys liked today's video. Let me know down below what some of your drugstore favorites were. But other than that, I hope you guys will hit that subscribe button if you like these types of videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!